The lender's going to work with you. They're actually going to respect you. Okay? But the key is making sure you're getting fair market value for the property, or as close to fair market value as possible. No one's getting top dollar in this market. But I am not giving any of my lenders ridiculous offers, so they know that. So they know one of my deals comes in, they're going to work with it. They say, okay, Robert, we know that he's not giving us crazy deals. And we just did it again. In fact, Ophelia just closed yesterday. Same thing. It's not worth it. Yes, it is. It's not worth it. Yes, it is. Send it back 2 times. Came back, we just closed it. I think we just closed that one yesterday or day before yesterday. So if you know your market and you really are prepared to battle with your lenders a little bit and stick to your guns, you're going to get your deals accepted. And a few more things that I just want to say is, stay in touch with your agent. When you're feeling like you're going to start getting that approval, okay, make sure that the other agent's on top of it so that they don't, wake up all of a sudden, okay, let's get the whole process started. No. Let them know, hey, we're really close to this. Make sure that your ducks are lined up in a row so that you can order your appraisal and you get everything going. Are you okay? Yeah, we're ready. Okay, it's kind of like, ready, set, go. Make sure that they're ready, set, go. Make sure that they're ready to go. And we do that. It's like, because we don't want to tell you, right when we're approved, okay, we got to get the loan. Oh, okay, let's take a loan application. No. You need to stay on top of your other agents to make sure that they're ready to go, because most of the time lenders want us to close our deals about 3 weeks after or sooner. Within 3 weeks of approval. That's more or less the norm of what they're looking for. So if your people are lined up, you're going to be okay. Couple things, final tips. Value, again, if I can give you these final tips. Stay within 85 to 90% of value, and real value. Okay, not what you think is value, but what really is value. Procedures, completed documentation. If you have all your documentation with your lenders correctly filled out, all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, that's really important. That's going to go a long way. Procedures, follow procedures. Get the procedures that the lenders want. And if you follow the procedures, you're going to get people working with you a lot better. Okay? Document everything. Every time you're talking to somebody, okay, you document it. You write it down. Put a communication log. You should be doing that on your deals anyways. Okay? That's why I use email, because that documents everything for me. But document everything, because you know what, that person that you were talking to last week could have been let go. Maybe they were laid off. The market's tough. People are laying people off, or they're moving to different companies. And then you're not going to know what did we talk about? No, document everything. Stick to your guns. If you really know that your true market value, you're really where you should be, stick to your guns. More than one lender, is it easier to work on a transaction that has the same lender on first and the second? Absolutely. If you're dealing with a lender that has if you're dealing with a property that has 2 different loans, it can be tough sometimes. I mean, the first lender says, well, we make more money than you. We have better signs than you. We have less notice of defaults than you. Our CEO is in the news less. It's ridiculous. It's like they go back and forth like little kids. And you have to be able to just be like the buffer in between. That's really what you're doing. A lot of times when we're talking to people and they're not always the nicest people, and they're mad for whatever happened to them the day before or didn't happen to them the day before, and you happen to be the recipient of that. You just need to keep your cool. That's hard for me to do. If any of you guys know me, it's hard for me to do. Why do you keep laughing over it? But you got to keep your cool. You keep your cool with these people, and you're going to be able to get your transactions to go through. So, I would say that, the closing thoughts, if I give some final thoughts about when considering short sales, first of all, there's some great deals out there. There's some great deals for your buyers out there. We have a lot of great deals for you guys. I would love to sell your short sales. If you know what you're doing, I want to sell your short sales. And there's also a lot of opportunities in the marketplace right now, guys. There's a lot of opportunities out there. For those of you who are willing to adopt to the changes, people just, they're afraid. Oh my God, the market's changing. It's terrible. What's that? There's some great opportunities out there. I'll tell you a couple things, a couple parting thoughts. I really believe that a lot of what you do on a daily basis comes from here. Your production comes from here. Your clients come from here. Okay? A couple things. I started doing workshops about 15 years ago, and I used to get about 80, 100 people, sometimes 120 people. And I thought that was a norm. And I was always getting 80, 120 people there. And people would ask me, Robert, I understand you're doing workshops for home buyers or home sellers. I said, yeah, just how many people are you getting? They said 80 to 100 people or somewhere in there. They were like, no way. Yeah, and they said, you're kidding. Everybody's getting 5 to 15 people. You're kidding me. And they kept telling me, people were asking, how many are you getting? 80 to 100 people. And they started telling me and brainwashing me that the norm is 5 to 15 people in the workshop. And you know what happened? I lowered my expectations, and after a while, I started having 5 to 15 people at my workshops because I let somebody else determine that for me. And I kind of watched that. I said, whoa, wait a minute. And now I raised my expectations, and I'm back up to sometimes 80, 100 people sometimes at my workshops. It's really important. Parking karma. I get this all the time. You're lucky. You always get the best parking at a restaurant. You always get the best parking at the mall. You always get the best parking at the movies right in the front row. I'm not lucky. I just look for parking in the front row. Because if I look for parking 2 blocks away, I'm never going to get parking in the front row. Does that make sense? You guys ever like park like a block away because you knew you were going to get parking, and as you're walking up to the movie, there's like 5 open spots there for you? That's because you're thinking on the outside. And the reason why I'm telling you this is that's how your business is. If you really think that you're going to have a bad year, you're going to have a bad year. I know very few people who think they're going to do really bad who are actually doing really good. Okay, so there's a lot of opportunity out there for you guys. I would love to do some deals with you guys. If you guys have any questions, I put all my documentations online so you can download them, use them, take our name off them, put your name off them. It's okay. Why? Because when I bring you an offer on one of your listings, I want you to be prepared. And I want us to close our deals together. So, question?
Would you give us your website address again, please?
CasaWay.com. Casa is in house in Spanish, CASAWay.com.
Thank you.
Nick?
How do you handle delinquent taxes? Who pays? How do you negotiate that?
Almost all of our properties have delinquent taxes. They do. Lenders end up paying just about all of them. On occasion, I think on 2 of them maybe, the sellers have actually had to come in with like $500, $600, $700. But for the most part, that's part of what I negotiate with the lender, and the lender pays the delinquent taxes. I've never had the lender tell the seller to pay the delinquent taxes. Any other questions?
What about the buyer, though?
The buyers will not pay delinquent taxes. There's no buyer, especially in this market. You'd be lucky the buyer pays for the closing costs.
Two quick questions.
Sure.
What about that new pay deposit? Do you actually deposit that in the escrow account?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I have to.
On commissions, what's your experience getting full price 6%?
Most of my banks will give me, I would say, there's one bank that never, I shouldn't say never, they just cut mine to 5%. But for the most part will give me 6%. I would say it's 50-50, 2.5% or 3%. My favorite lender is, I kid you not guys, my favorite lender is Countrywide. They're the best to me because they just work with me all the time. They never give me a hard time. Yeah, sometimes I don't return my call, but gosh, it's more because they're bogged down like everybody else. But they pay me 6% on just about all my deals. I've double-ended transactions with them and closed them in 34 days, and they pay me a full 6% without blinking an eye. So that's cool. Anything else? Who negotiates with the hold to the second? Usually you do, as the agent, you let them know, and when I say you do, you just let you're kind of like a buffer. You let the second know what the first is saying. Hey, I'm going to offer, the first will tell you, we're only going to give the second $3,000, and you let the second know they're going to only give you $3,000, and then you go back and forth. Very rare do you have the first and the second talking to each other. I don't know that that's ever happened to us. But anything else? Because I know we're running short on time. Are we okay?
What happened to the credit score?
We talked the credit score of the seller. You know, I was doing some research last night because I wanted to make sure that I was kind of up to date on stuff, and I was hearing that the credit score is affected. Some people say 150, some people say 250. I would say you're probably about 150 to 200 points that gets knocked down. Because what happens is the lenders report that as a charge-off. So what happens with credit scores 6 months later? If your seller makes all their payments on time, continues to make all their payments on time for the credit cards and all the other stuff, and they have that charge-off, that charge-off's going to hurt them. After 6 months of continuing to make good payments, their FICO score is going to start going up again. And typically after 2 years, you should be okay. Sometimes even less than that. But your credit score will be affected. I'm going to say about 150. That's what my experience has been. Questions?
What about foreclosure versus short sale on FICO?
It's anywhere from 300 to 400 points is what I heard. 300 to 400 points, yeah. That's what I read last night, and that was the latest information that I read last night. Anybody else?
Are any of the sellers making a deal with the lender that the short sale is like 100,000? Is there some kind of way they'll pay off that 100,000?
I've had lenders that...
So they don't take it, they don't have credit?
I've had lenders, that's a good question, Laura.